The following program is rated MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
The show that gives you everything and nothing at all. That's everywhere you don't want to be. It's Ruben, Mo B, and on the ones and twos, AG.
The 5-minute warning.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of 5-Minute Warning. Of course, as always, it's your man, Ruben, in the house, having conversations with you and the people that you know. And of course, always with me is my cousin, AG.
What's happening, y'all? How you doing?
Oh, man, it's been crazy. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, we probably should have talked about it last week, but I want some more time. Because I feel like every time we feel like we talk about something, the next day the shit changes, because that is the type of government that we deal with at this moment in time, and shit just don't stay the same anymore for 48 hours at the very least. But before we get into that, I'd like to first thank JTD Creations. Hey, look, they do shirts, they do hats, they do Stanley mugs, they do everything. You want a shirt? They got you. You want a sweatshirt? They got you. You want to put your logo on a Stanley mug? They got you. They do it all. Check them out on Facebook, JTD Creations. Once again, they do not mess with children. They do not put shit on kids or people. So don't be asking for crazy shit like that. But let's go back to our government. We're going to start today off talking about the craziness that really started in about 2025. Now, I know we've been talking about stuff recently, but let's go where this shit all started. And no, I'm not really talking about the election. I am talking about when where is it? It's right here. The SAVE Act. When they first came out with the SAVE Act in 2025, talking about, hey, you got to show your ID to vote. Hey, you got to do some other stuff. And of course, the other part of SAVE that's not part of SAVE Act, that's the one that me personally I kind of have issue with, is, hey, in order to fly, you got to get a new license. Do you know how much license costs these days? I ain't trying to get another goddamn license because I got to have some shit on it saying I can fly. That's the dumbest shit ever. But we'll get into that later. But this is where all this shit started, right? We should have known then we're going to be in trouble. All right? So, of course, we do that. And then, of course, shit, the country is running like crap. Nobody likes me anymore, says the president. I got to stay in power. I'm being in power for 4 years, but shit, if the Democrats win either the House or the Senate, I'm done. I ain't going to be able to get shit done, because what's going to happen is I'm going to try to get shit done, and they're going to actually do their job and block my ass. And then it's just going to be problems after that. So Texas started off with redrawing maps. And so right now we have had 6 states either redraw maps or have tried to redraw maps. But, you know, because Virginia, we always got to do shit half-ass. They voted. We voted in Virginia to redraw the maps. Then our Supreme Court said, nah, motherfuckers, we can't be doing that. We can't be breaking our laws that we already set. Nobody else did that shit, though. But whatever. You know, is what it is. But Texas started out. Then California started doing it. Then Utah started doing it. Indiana tried to do it. They said, hell no, we're not doing that. Well, guess what? A whole bunch of those dudes who voted not to do that, the president's getting them motherfuckers out in their own elections in their own state. Bro, you're supposed to run the country, but we'll get back to that in a little second because I got to finish this. After all that, New York try to do some shit. Nah, we ain't doing no shit. Alabama, Louisiana. You know what? Maybe. Nah, I got something for your ass right here. The Supreme Court, the law of the land said, you know what? This Louisiana versus Callens and the First Women's Resource Centers versus Davenport. Man, we don't necessarily like that shit. So guess what? We're gonna basically say that shit's unconstitutional, which now basically said you can redraw the maps as long as it's not about race. Bitch, why do you think they redrawing the maps? Let's be real here. So now all they gotta do is come up with some bullshit reason. Redraw the map.
Okay, your internet's going bad. Say what you said again.
It's not about, now they got to redraw the maps. Thank you. They got to redraw the map. They can redraw the map. And all they got to do is, it's not about race. It's about A, B, C. I took a dump. It was green. I didn't like it. So I decided to change it. Get the fuck out of here with that. We all know what it's about. So with all that being said, AG, the question today is very simple. I mean, is this November the most important vote in our country's history? With all this shit's going down, because the approval rate is the lowest since Lyndon B. Johnson. Some shit like this nobody likes his own people don't fucking like him.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
But you're right, it doesn't matter. But it's the fact, whereas like in the grand scheme of things, the last thing this dude needs is for Congress to actually do their job. And the only way that's going to happen is if the Republicans stay in power. So, with all this shit that's been happening since 2025, up to today, I ask you again, AG, is this November's election the most important election in our country's history to date?
I don't know if it's the most important. I think it's the second most important, because the most important was for it to happen the first time.
Yeah.
This in recent history, which the history is still super recent. That's what people don't realize. This whole thing has only been going on 60 years, y'all. I mean, it hasn't been that long. However,
history changes every 48 fucking hours.
Well, true enough.
With this. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's the most important. It's the most important vote in my lifetime,
mm-hmm.
which I'm 56. So in my lifetime, this is the most paramount vote that I can remember. Now, maybe I'm wrong with that, but I grew up in a place where I would say things based on what I thought would never change. The big change had already happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, everyone around me is guilty of it. I'm not anymore, but it's like, you can't do that because the Constitution says. You can't do that because the law says. I grew up in that place. These kids now, they grew up in a lot of instability, so they don't really see it as badly as I do. Especially if you're white. If you're a little white kid, you don't really understand what's going on. It doesn't affect you until it does, but that's a whole nother podcast. But for me, for people that are older, like if you were born in the 70s and you're a child in the 80s and you're a young adult in the 80s or early 90s, this matters, man, because a lot of the things that you built an argument on, or you built your own stability and safety being a citizen of the United States, it's being eroded at a rate in which is like, I mean, if you've ever seen scalding hot water on skin, it kind of falls right off the bone. So I'm like, this is bad. And the thing that upsets me about it all from a voting standpoint is like people playing with their food. I don't like this person, whatever. No, it doesn't matter what you like. You have to vote for what we have to do. that's what people don't really understand because they're too young.
Yeah.
They don't understand that you could lose it all. Especially if you white, you don't really get it, man. It's just like you can't look at one little thing and go, well, that's my issue, and because of that, I'm not going to vote for thus and so. No. Stop playing with your food.
Yeah, definitely.
And so
go ahead. No, I was going to say that's why I had to take it back to 2025. Because when I put this question up earlier, I thought about it and I was like, I like this question. Boom, boom, boom. But then I couldn't just talk about what happened in Louisiana, what the Supreme Court just did for the southern states. Because, that's not the whole story. And I mean, I'm probably missing parts of the story, but I do feel like this shit started with the punk ass SAVE Act, which basically said, hey, you can't vote. Well, I mean, that was the first thing after the election. Well, you can't vote unless you have an ID. I mean, okay. But then, of course, now you can't fly unless you have this particular thing on the ID. Man, like I said earlier, that's a bunch of bullshit. And, you want to replace my life for free? Cool. I got to pay another $50 fucking just to get a little stamp and suck a dick. Like that's how I feel about it. But once again, this is how it all starts. It's something like some people think it's small, but then it gets bigger and then it gets bigger. So, I mean, I'm with you, because I'm 52 and so I've been alive as long as you've been alive. You're a little bit older than me, obviously. So yeah, this for us, this is the most important thing in the history. However, this is what I will say. All this shit didn't necessarily go well for the Republican Party. Let's take Texas. Texas gerrymandered their system strong, but they end up losing like 3 seats to Democrats that they gerrymandered for Republicans. So it actually backfired in Texas. And of course, California is going through some shit right now too, especially with the governor's race. I mean, what is like 5 million people running for governor of California?
It's a lot.
and I mean, because all y'all motherfuckers are qualified. Like, yeah, okay. And that's I think the more interesting part about that part that nobody has talked about is there's a shit ton of Republicans running for governor in California, which has notoriously, I repeat, notoriously been a Democratic stronghold for as long as I've been alive that I know of. What in God's name do you think that they will put a Republican governor in a highly Democratic state? Like,
they already did. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, that's very true, but that's because he was known and shit. Hey, thank you, Moko. Thank you, AG. You're right. Correction. I can't. Yeah, I don't know a lot about.
And Reagan too.
California.
He was.
That's right. He was governor. He was governor.
And he wasn't like on the level of Arnold. Arnold was never. I feel like based on what's going on and what has been going on for decades, Arnold wasn't a Republican's Republican.
No.
He definitely was right leaning, but he wasn't evil. So I want to separate him from Reagan in that way.
I would say, honestly, that he was more moderate than most Republicans. Almost borderline Democratic. And I just think he felt like he read the room and he picked the Republican Party because they had the most money. Because they always do, in a state like that, because they just really have never had a major Republican stronghold in California. So, yeah, and that's kind of wild. And then, of course, Indiana, they gave Donald Trump the double number ones.
Well, there's a reason for that. And he shot himself in his own foot when he tried to get Mike Pence hanged.
Yep.
That didn't help matters.
Yeah.
He did that. I don't think Indiana forgot it. I don't think Pence forgot it, even though
Nah.
he was really classy in the way he handled it. But it's like, they ain't forget that. I believe that has something to do with what happened in Indiana.
Almost definitely. And then, however, if I'm correct, Trump kind of got the last laugh at the beginning because 3 of those 5 slots got replaced. Those people got replaced.
I'm sure
He
they
put
did.
people to replace them, but I believe 2 of them survived. 2 of the 5 of the Republicans who voted against it survived. So, like, and India, I mean, look, man, we don't sugarcoat a lot of shit here. Indiana is probably in the history, probably one of the more racist places. I mean, they still have if I'm correct,
it's not a fun place to live if
you're
around.
They still got signs about we serve who we want and shit. Like
Well, I will say this: if you live in the suburbs of Indianapolis or Indianapolis proper, it's much safer and much more, equitable than outside of that. The rest of the state, not including Purdue and Indiana University, if you, like I said, if you're not in Indianapolis proper, the suburbs, or any one of the major schools, you're safe. But Indiana, when I heard about everything that went down in Indiana, I said those people are so mad at Trump because they racist as they want to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Everywhere is racist. I want to really, really drive that point home. People like to give every place outside of the South a pass. Please don't. I understand you. Please. But Indiana is a special, special place, sir.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've never spent a ton of time in it.
You're not missing a thing.
Oh, I'm not. But here's the thing. When it's all, like you said earlier, your major colleges, your major cities, like Indianapolis. Like if you live in Indianapolis, I would, like you said, you're probably just as safe there as you're safe here where we live. But like, yeah, that shit, you go into the that shit's out there. Like I wouldn't be hanging out around there too much, But yeah, man, like, and I'm not trying to shit on Indiana, but we all know what the history is out there. So we can't sit here and just be like, oh, they made strides. They made strides in places where they don't have choices. Indianapolis, there's no choice. The University of Indiana, any major college, there's really no choice there because, we're talking in this completely different subject, and I'm going to briefly talk about it. Not even talk about it, just mention it. Like the Ole Miss situation that happened last week. We'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, like that's some shit like that out there. And that's really another topic for another time. So I just wanted to do in and out. So yeah, it's like, they said they hit him with the double middles. Trump's like, I got your bitch asses. They put some new MAGA people up in that beast. 3 out of the 5 won. I mean, and that's the state government. That's not even like federal shit. He's like, yeah, next time I tell y'all motherfuckers to do something, y'all need to do it. That's pretty much what he's saying. So yeah, man, this guy is trying to affect everything. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't fucked with PTA elections yet, but give him an opportunity. He might fuck with that too.
If they stop banning books, he gonna be there.
Oh my Jesus Christ! Banning books. Nikki. Yep. Unfortunately, people aren't looking at the issues when voting. They're looking at the candidates as if it were a pageant or popularity contest. Because of this, we have now elected officials who are out of touch with creating a future that they might not even exist in. That is very true. But let's just be honest and real about all this shit. Any type of election, for the most part, is a popularity contest. It's about how people feel comfortable enough with you to put you there. Whether they like you or they dislike you is a thing. However, it's all about comfortability. And 50 plus million people felt real comfortable about the orange dude being in power, and there's there's really nothing that we can sit here and be like, yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. Because even though he was president before, let's be real, those 4 years weren't exactly the greatest. And I would say he probably ended in a way shittier position than he started. I mean, because he could have won, he could have beaten Biden if he had just handled COVID better. If he'd have handled COVID better, he would have had his 2 terms and his ass be out. But no, he didn't. And, you know, like, he can't be controlled right now. And that's just what it is. But back to this election situation, yeah, man, this shit is crazy. Like,
is it?
It's not. Well, it's only crazy because it seems, and this is just me looking at it and taking what he's done now and looking at the future. He's done a whole lot of shit that a lot of people have never done. Especially, you know, it's like you own the police. You own the police in your own city. Like, he owns the cops, and the cops are Congress, right? And he can do what he wants because he knows nobody's ever stepped into his door with to arrest his ass, because it's not happening. When you own the city like that, I mean, you're kind of close. I don't want to say close to Scarface, but there are a couple people that you're close to, and that's probably how he feels. You know, he started a war with Iran for what? For oil. And then, look, man, how you feel about the Iran war is how you feel. Was it a good war? Is it a good war? Whatever. We're not here to debate that. The situation is, he thought he was a bully. And then, you know, he gave him 2 punches. The problem is the motherfucker stood right back up and was like, bitch, that's all you got? And he's like, oh shit, I hit him with my 2 star punches. Now he's just, I mean, he's motherfucking David and Goliath in my ass. Because that's really what happened. That is literally David and Goliath. That was it. Because basically they said, we go take this shit. And right when he thought he had won some shit, you know, we got this thing called the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, we're going to fuck up your oil supply. You know what? You may eventually beat us, but you're going to basically mess up your country by doing so. Man, all they got to do is wait. Literally. That's literally all they got to do. Because we picked a fight that we didn't need to pick. Or, if you just want to be really honest with it, he took your best shot. They took your best shot 2 or 3 times. And now, you look like an idiot. Like, you're going to China. Ask her all the shit, cold cash shit you had talked about China, and you going to China for help, bruh. Like, regardless of how you feel, that's just like going to your worst enemy. Yo, man, I need those answers to the test. Bitch, didn't you just call me a blah 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 blah? You told me to suck my own dick. You know what? How about this? I would help you out, but I want this. And we're just like, nah, that Taiwan shit ain't happening. Or is it? Because once again, who are we dealing with here? We don't know. But all I know is Taiwan makes the superconductor chips that runs America for the most part. So
it's a stalemate, sir.
It is.
And actually, in Trump's defense, China petty too. So both of them. This is 2 birds. I mean, it's like 2 sides of the same coin. It's like, the whole China thing is a little different for me because there's so much involved. You're talking about it's a leverage thing, and China's been wanting to be at the table for a long time, and finally they're in position to leverage themselves to the table. The leverage that China has is they're their own Africa. They can produce, elements and metals that everybody needs. But the downfall of China is the fact that they produce more than their country can absorb. So that means that they are an export dependent country.
Correct.
And the biggest place for an export dependent country to succeed is the United States of America.
Correct.
And so you're at a stalemate, because if we stop buying their stuff, they're dead in the water. There's nothing they can do. And as far as Taiwan goes, if you want to be petty with them, you can continue to give them weapons, even though it's disrespectful and all the things. You can use terrible language with respect to how China sees language, which is a big deal to them.
Yes.
And still give Taiwan weapons and aid and all the things. So there's a lot of things in here where people are jabbing, but ain't nobody fighting, because it's like,
Not at all.
I need to build cars and computers. Y'all need to sell me stuff I might not want. So what are we going to do here?
Which he spent 48 hours of doing a whole bunch of fucking nothing.
Well, we don't know that because nothing's come out to say what actually happened. I tend to think that you're right. There's a lot of posturing. What I wanted to kind of get out there was, you're saying a lot of things, but it's deeper than that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's much deeper than what you're saying. And it's just like, bro, this is, but I still feel like it's one of those things where it's a distraction.
Yes.
It's not you flew over a war you started to get to China. Air Force One, if Air Force One took the west to east route,
yeah,
you had to fly over Iran, which is like all the problems, to get to China.
It's like, what's up, dogs? How y'all doing down there? Deuces. Like,
that alone lets me know that he does what he wants to do. He creates distractions that he thinks that we're stupid, like Mo would say.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, okay, whatever you want to do. Like I said, man, China needs us as much as we need them.
Correct.
There's a lot of posturing going on. Each country, because like we don't have like dominating interest in Africa, which I feel like we need to pay them people their money, but this is not what white colonizers do. So, okay. But having said that, you don't have any leverage in Africa, so that makes you have to need China. Because I promise you, if we had leverage in Africa, or we decided we're going to pay these people for their time and energy, China would be dead in the water. China produces so much stuff that they have to export. If everybody collectively said, "No, we good," they would be nowhere.
But we can't deal with those people in Africa, man. That's what they're saying.
All you gotta do is pay them.
I mean, shit.
That's all you gotta do.
Well, here's the problem with that too, right? Like, his petty ass is, I mean, he brought the white South Africans over. They're killing us in Africa. Please save us. Hold on, motherfucker. You just sat here and said you can't have. We closed the border to Mexicans. We closed the border to Dreamers, and everybody had different colors. But we're gonna bring the white Africans over and give them. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, hey, man. And once again, that story was out. Then it was gone, and some other shit happened. And it's just like, bro, I mean, when it's all said and done, we got to keep our eyes open as a whole. Because, like you said, distraction. I mean, yo, man, this dude is making Now You See Me Part 4 right now. Like, you can just do the whole government. Now can you see me? Now, now you see me, because this is a fucking movie that he's doing, man. And it's I know it's funny, but it's just like, yo, it's crazy that this dude it's crazy, the amount of deception in the way he wants to control the media.
But he's not deceiving anybody. He just thinks he is. Who is he actually? Look, man, we're on a nobody talk show podcast, and we're smart enough to know what's happening. You really think there's people that actually work there that don't know what this is going on? People ain't dumb.
But look, man, we've talked numerous times about the intelligence of the majority of his base. And I didn't say all his base, The majority of his base has an 8th grade education.
It doesn't matter because that's not what's going on, man. You're okay. I let you talk. Go ahead. I just got to get this part out.
Please.
When you say this, it drives me bananas because these people aren't dumb either. Okay, these people are intelligent. I don't care what your grade level is. You're intelligent. What I mean by that is you have common sense. Now, I will amend that statement by saying sometimes common sense is relative to your experience. Okay, I have to say that everybody's common sense is not the same. Doesn't mean it's not as accurate.
Correct.
It means it's not the same.
Correct.
So what I mean by all of that is if you are white, especially with a little bit of age to you, where you've seen your numerical decline in this country and your rights, big finger quotes there, your rights being taken away from you like they haven't, but okay, you know, all the things that you're used to aren't the same anymore. Your common sense tells you I'm going to vote for the guy who's going to give me those things back, and whatever else doesn't matter. I know he's this and I know he's that. Do I agree? No, it's awful. Don't care. I want to be a citizen of America that allows me to keep everybody down but me. Lyndon B. Johnson said it. I'll paraphrase. If you give the worst white man the opportunity to look down on the best black man, you can basically sell him anything. In fact, he'll sign it over to you. Paraphrase. But in spirit, that's what's going on here. That's why it drives me crazy that you label these people as dumb. They're not dumb. But the thing's happening now is they never had to understand how expensive racism actually is, how dangerous racism actually is, because now it's seeping through the cracks and you can see the mold. Your respiratory system is failing. You're sick all the time because that creeping death is coming through the walls.
Mm-hmm.
They never had to deal with that before. It was always, that's a them problem. And you know what? They're 100% right. Now, not so much. And that's why it's like, bro, don't do that, because it's like these people understand exactly what's going on, but they just understand it with respect to their own racism, their own vacuum, which they've grown up in. And they don't even know they're racist sometimes. They just don't even know they're racist sometimes. It's like, this is the life I've led. And because this is a life I've led in this vacuum, you're poking holes in the vacuum, which takes away the pressure that makes the vacuum exist. I don't want nobody to stop me from calling a coon. I don't want that. I want to have the choice to call a coon if I feel like it. I want, just like the cops that got caught on audio reminiscing about the time where lynching was legal. This happened in the late 90s. This was recorded in the late 90s, I think it was, or maybe the turn of the century, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it was in the recent past. This is not cops sitting around talking about in the heat of the night. You know, since I sit in Portier, baby, this is like Joe Blow that you probably know.
Yeah.
That you might have voted for sheriff.
Yeah.
This is that dude talking about, man, I can't believe we can't hang niggas no more. What in the world? So you have all of these things that these people have grown accustomed to, basically being top of the food chain and the default. So they're allowed to do anything. And we've eroded that to get them to be less than animals. And they're upset about it. And I'm telling you, Justice Roberts, back in the 80s when Reagan was president, he was Project 2025. Back in 1980. This dude has been planning and scheming the entire time. That's why I don't like it when you call these you randomly label these people dumb. Because Justice Roberts might qualify for your criteria to not be dumb, But I'm telling you right now, if you don't think them bumpkins, if you want to say that, if you don't think them bumpkins in South Carolina have already said we want to turn over 14th, that's been going on since 14th was a 14th. And I'm telling you right now, this is the thing that you need to, not you personally, but just in general. This is the thing everybody in this country who thinks this is terrible needs to understand. This is not about the midterms anymore. This is about not putting them in position, being in position to get 2/3 of Congress. Because if that happens, they can do whatever they want to the Constitution. That is what I want people to understand.
Okay.
That is what's the most dangerous thing in this. Because the people that you're calling dumb now have the upper hand. How dumb are they now? No, they're smarter than you, sir, because now you're a slave again. You don't get the vote. You don't get to keep your job. You don't get to do anything because they've snatched all your rights away. Sounds pretty smart to me. Sounds like they bet on the right horse. So that's what I mean by labeling people things they are really not. They're not. I promise you they're not. They know exactly what they're doing and have been doing it under our noses while we're comfortable in our middle-class homes with our mortgages and our jobs that can't nobody fire us from, whatever, for the last 60 years. They have been, Mo says it all the time, they have been playing the long game, and y'all don't even really understand how long that game was or is, because they're on the cusp of greatness right now. Could you imagine that? And the world is watching, and there's no one that's coming to save us. Nobody. So again, with the labels, be accurate, because those people are about to best you.
Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was done. I just want you to know this election that's coming up is the most important, because the Constitution is at stake in a way in which it's never been since it was written.
Correct. All right. So, Nikki, said AG, you are absolutely correct. They are educated. They just believe that it's not going to hurt them. All right. Then she hit us with another one. Like someone once said, nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save us. That means there's nobody here to stop us either. All right. So, this is what I will say to that. And first of all, very good points. I appreciate it. All right. Now, you're right. I should probably explain more who I'm talking about, because in my opinion, there's a 10% and then there's a 90%, right? The 10% are those who understand what's going on a level that the 90% don't. All right. The reason why I bring up education is because education also breeds intelligence. Now, there's experiences, but for the most part, I feel like the 90% are comfortable of being told what to do by somebody who they relate to. Now, when I say terms like dumb, uneducated, things as such, I'm not talking about Supreme Court justice. I'm not talking about educated people. I'm not. I'm talking about those who are not. Because those who are not still don't understand that they lost a whole bunch of benefits at the beginning of the year. Just like black people did. Those people don't realize they lost them too, or they're just waiting to hope, oh, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. Whereas black people, for the most part, hope that it's going to come back, but we've dealt with it and we moved on because we're very resilient, right? Now, also the other thing is, if we want to get into numbers, by percentages, there are more Caucasian people on welfare than black people. By percentages. All right, of people in the country. So when you look at that, the question is, how many of that percentage are MAGA, or even just Republican? Let's start Republican, and then we can break MAGA off into that, which is probably I'd give them 60%, right? So those 60%, for whatever reason, still don't understand that January 1st, they lost SNAP. They lost other food stamps and stuff like that. They lost a lot of things just like black people did, right? And they are also still hoping that the government will one day come and save them because he looks like me. So I'm going to continue to vote for them because I feel like they're going to come back and save me. They're doing this so they can get the other people out the way, and so we can reassert our dominance in this country. But they're being penalized just as much as the people who it was intended to penalize. So they don't even understand that they're in the same boat as other people. And that's why I use that language, because if they don't understand that, what makes you think they understand anything else?
Well,
like,
I go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's all I'm saying is like, I'm not talking about people out here who have jobs and are living minimum wage and stuff like that. I'm not talking about them. Those are not the people who don't feel like they don't have a choice, but at least they're educated enough to make a choice. Whereas those people who don't, hey, look, you can sit here and say what you want, but the history says that the country was better when Obama was running it. But Lord knows, if you ask any of those people who would fit in that category, they'd be like, hell no, we need to get that nigger out of here. Even though the country is running really well for them and everybody else, the country was still terrible for them. Just because he was running it. And now, same thing with Biden. I don't know if you saw it. They were interviewing someone, because God knows, I think the only thing that happens now on Capitol Hill is interviews with people. And they were interviewing someone, I can't remember who it was, and I apologize for that. Black guy. He worked for Trump or whatever. But every time they asked him a question, he talked about the Biden administration. Well, the Biden administration, bitch, we are a year and a half away from the fucking Biden administration. Like, this shit is your fault. At this moment in time, this shit is your fault. You talking about the Biden, well, we had to fix the Biden administration. It took you a year and a half to fix the Biden administration? Look, man, don't sit here and play us to be stupid. Like, and that's pretty much what Congress was like telling them. It's like, yo, we ain't dumb up here. So don't treat us like we're, low-level MAGA people. I'm shocked that nobody really said that. And then, the discussion that we will have another day, because we've had one discussion on this dude. I don't remember the episode it was, but we need to find that, because whatever. One day we're going to have a nice, solid conversation about Clarence Thomas. And I'll probably get sued for it. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Because, man, he's a bitch. Like, because that's why. Defamation of character. Motherfucker, we're just talking about the truth. You a bitch. You climbed up the ladder, you kicked everybody off that bitch. Fuck y'all. I'm up here by myself. I'm the only nigga up here. That's right. I said that. I don't even say that, but that's what it is. And that's a different conversation for another time. But I felt like this dude was trying to rope his ass up there with Clarence Thomas so he can get some air up there. But once again, time for another story. So that's what I'm saying, man. I'm never worried. I'm worried. Don't get it twisted. I'm worried about the top 10%, but I'm really worried about the rest of them, because it's like we joke on R. Kelly, the Pied Piper. I mean, he did that shit to himself, but yo, man, the dude's Pied Piper. He's got like little mice around him, bro. That is his whole presidency. You got a whole bunch of little motherfucking mice. Hey, man, I'm whipping your ass, but that's not what's really happening. Even though I'm whipping your ass, that's not what's happening. And but yes, sir. Hey, man, did I just whip your ass? No, you didn't, sir. Bitch, I just whooped your ass. Like, what are we talking about? And so, how many times have you heard, wait a minute, he just said that shit, didn't he? Yeah. He just said he didn't say that shit. We all just heard him say that shit. No, I didn't say that shit. But, and that's the thing. The people who sit there and say, no, he didn't say that shit. Those the motherfuckers that we need to be worried about. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, you're right. The Congress, the 2/3 thing on Congress is super important. And you're right. It's more important than anything else because we're talking constitutional shit now. Right? And I think that's one of the reasons why the question was asked. But all I'm saying is, hey, man, we just got to understand that the foot soldiers have votes. And they don't give a fuck. They will sacrifice themselves to vote for their supreme leader.
That's what I wanted you to say, because you weren't giving those people credit for being able to sacrifice something Democrats don't do, something liberals don't do. They think they still have the luxury to play with their food. These people understand one thing and one thing only. They eat, sleep, and breathe, putting black people and brown people where they're supposed to be and giving themselves, top status. Yeah. So that's all I wanted you to say.
And in a sad way, I admire them for that. The being lemmings, because it's hard to be a lemming. It's hard to have your own views because that means you gotta think about shit and realize, wait a minute, maybe this ain't the right way. Yo, man, they came out with that game Lemmings, man. All you had to do is basically just sacrificing fucking lemmings to get one dude to the goal. Like that is literally what they're doing.
Right. And that needs to be lauded. It needs to be brilliant. You need to respect your opponent, man. How many times have I said that? Respect your opponent, man. In Democrats live this luxury life where they think the right thing is the right thing. No, blood has to be shed sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get it twisted. Democrats got their share of lemmings too.
Whatever. But if they want their lives, they got it's like this ain't free.
Not at all.
It's like they can't do that. No, they can't. It's legal, but they did it. So what are you gonna do about it? That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for somebody to answer. You're gonna have to slit somebody's throat. If you're not willing to do that, well, it is what it is.
Yep. And I'm with you. I feel like we're on the same. We hope this shit don't happen. However, it's hard to think that it's not going to, because sacrifice is strong, and being able to sacrifice is strong. And unfortunately, in the Democratic Party, we have not found anybody who's ready to sacrifice themselves.
No, but that's a constituent thing. That's not. See, this is the part where I diverge from blaming everything on the adults in the room, so to speak.
Yeah.
A lot of this responsibility falls on the constituents' hands. And I've been saying it since I hit the record button. Stop playing with your food. Because I've heard young people say dumb things. And it's just like, why are you doing it? Because you have a luxury that you don't remember not having. You've always had it. You think 60 years is a long time ago. There's a lyric in a song that I've been repeating on, they've been quoting to people a lot in the last month. I remember when 30 was old.
Yeah.
And that's where they're at. And they don't understand how dangerous this is. Stop playing with your food.
And the worst part about it is, they're going to get hit the hardest.
Yes, because they have to live in this. We're almost done with this. I mean, in the next 10 to 30 years, we're going to be done with this place. And so it's like it's going to be on you. And now those people have kids. It's going to be on them. And I'm telling you, if you want a modicum of safety in this country, you better vote for who you have to vote for. And you better show up to the polls, or none of your life matters as you know it.
Yep.
And you think these people out here are playing. You think these bumpkins out here are playing. They want to use their nooses so bad they can taste it. But honestly, the biggest thing that's even overall that is they want a place where lackeys like us continue to do all the things that we have to do for free so they can stay billionaires. Because here's the delicate balance of being a billionaire. If I just stop calling you, if I just stop using your services, you mean nothing. Now, will my life change? Sure, but what did we just say about sacrifice?
Yeah.
If I decided one day, man, I love me some Netflix, but this is ridiculous. Deuces. Do you know what Netflix means? It means nothing. Now, if I do it, it does, their lives aren't going to change. Netflix is always still going to be a behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But if only 20% of us did something like that, it would change Netflix fundamentally. So let's stop pretending that someone is going to come and save us. Because if you think the Democrats in Congress are going to help you, look at what they've done so far. Nikki, that's a great point. It was almost out of my mouth.
Same here. Here.
Target is the template.
Target.
And don't get me wrong, black people still go to Target. White people still go to Target. But see, here's the thing with Target. They pissed off the MAGAs, and they pissed off the people who filled the vacuum when the MAGAs left. So now they have nothing. And now they're struggling. I didn't think it could happen. I promise you, I'm telling y'all the truth. My wife was like, I ain't going to Target. I was like, what is that going to do? She was like, whatever it's going to do, I ain't going. Yeah. My wife is a white woman. Okay. This has to be said because of what I'm about to say. It took all of us to bring Target to its knees. And if you don't think Amazon and all the rest of them are looking at this, they looking at it, but they're too powerful to really take it seriously. I'm telling you right now, and I'm an Apple fanboy. I promise you, I am. But if I see Tim Cook giving fellatio to this dude, and I stop buying Apple, whether it's their products or whether it's their stock, if I just stop to the tune of just 20%, I have changed Apple fundamentally. And you know what's going to happen after that? We sorry. That's just 20%. Yep. That's just 20%.
Yeah. 20% is a shit ton.
Exactly.
Even when you're a billionaire, it's still a shit ton.
So again, y'all out, every time I see a Tesla, I throw up in my mouth a little bit. Every time I see a Starlink commercial, I throw up in my mouth a little bit. A piece of my soul goes away every time I order from Amazon. I am part of the problem. I am like them women out there that I don't like. You talking about the patriarchy, but you run around here asking men to do stuff. That's who I am with regard to this. I love Amazon. I think Amazon is they have to have the best customer service ever. They make their returns. They just make being their customer so nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to quit them.
Well, exactly. But if Bezos does some dumb mess and we stop, bruh, he is going to change on the outside fundamentally.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. But until the constituents go to the mattresses for this particular cause, stop playing with your food, vote for who you need to vote for.
Yep.
Your own personal, issues aside, and change what's happening. No one, AOC, she means nothing to me. Cory Booker means nothing to me. Hakeem Jeffries, nothing, because at the end of the day, it's up to me. The reason why Donald Trump is the president again to start with is because people stayed home. The percentage of people that stayed home was more than enough to defeat him going away. But those percentage of people just stayed home, probably because they said this can't happen. Yes, it can. Rainbow had a song called Can't Happen Here. A lot of the lyrics in that have come to pass. Shout out Joe Lynn Turner and Richie Blackmore. Y'all did that song, and I thought it was the most ridiculous song ever lyrically because they were talking about things that are happening right now. If you watch The Boys, you've been watching the news for the last 5 years.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
If you're watching anything, if you've read the book 1984, you already knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
You think it can't happen for real. Bruh. Don't you know that these people that are authoring this stuff are either well aware or lived it before because history repeats itself? Wake up, y'all. I mean, I'm not trying to be Lawrence Fishburne at the Quad and School Days. This is not what I'm trying to do. But that movie and that particular scene has more meaning than you understand right now. This is not about what they can do for us in Congress because they've showed us that they can't. What I'm telling you right now is this is a constituent responsibility. If you can get a ride, if you can, call a friend, if you have to just sacrifice a day's pay, whatever it is you need to do,
or go vote early. God bless America.
It doesn't matter wait how you get it done because here's the thing. You can't really say that like that anymore because they're trying to make that confusing too. I'm telling you right now, get up and vote if you are able to do. When I say able, I mean you're not in hospice. Okay? If you're not in hospice and you are able enough to go somewhere, if you haven't voted already, or if your state or your municipality has cut that out because they don't like your blackness or your brownness, get up and figure it out. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't think if they get 2/3 majority that they're going to gut the Constitution, fundamentally cut. I mean, all those amendments that help black and brown people just have a chance to exist, not a leg up, just exist.
Yeah.
If you don't think they're going to take all of that away from you, you tripping. So again, this is a constituent responsibility. Like I said before, we're not even having this conversation if people would have just gone to vote.
Yep.
So again, just
we're here.
Stop playing with your food.
And Nikki was like, yeah, many folk Roe versus Wade was never going to be overturned.
Exactly. And now here we are.
Yep.
Here we are. I never thought it would be either. And I'm like, and because I'm thinking women got the juice. You know what women ain't got the juice? The women that they ain't have enough women and that were left leaning in the
Supreme Court.
Exactly. Because if it was, could you imagine if Ginsburg would have lived? She'd have been like, you tripping.
It would have never came up.
You tripping. Exactly.
They feared her because they knew
they were so happy she died. They didn't know what to do.
Man, Trump couldn't get nobody in there fast enough.
Look, man. The only thing I'm telling you is stop playing with your food. Stop thinking this can't happen because it absolutely can. And the reason I know it can is because number one, history repeats itself. Number two, it's already happening. Have you been alive the last year and a half? Bruh, come on, man. Come on.
And I'll say this and then we'll move on. I think I mentioned this before on the show. Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you have talked about that. Absolutely.
Yep. They made a thing to basically determine your age, your voting patterns, all this shit. That's in a movie. You don't think that shit really exists? Yeah, fuck up out of here. I mean, sometimes you gotta think that, hey man, movies just come up with some random shit, or do they? So, with that being said, AG man, what's on your mind?
The first thing on my mind, I just want to reiterate again: stop playing with your food. Figure it out. Go vote, because you showing up to vote, no matter what they've done to your district, in this particular situation, still matters.
Yep.
It's still don't let them have you out here in these streets believing that your vote is so diluted that you can't decide who's going to be the president and who's not.
Correct.
That's not true at all. So again, your representation might not look like you, but your vote still matters. And if you understand that, you will keep your vote. Just the idea that you can vote at all, you'll keep your right to vote. Because if you decide to stay home, you won't be able to say anything in this country.
Not at all.
And that's the first thing. The second thing is, and Mo has said this before, and it never hit me until I just saw a trailer earlier this afternoon. Man, we got to come up with some new ideas for movies, man. How many movies can we make about World War II? Meanwhile, they out there mad because it's a 12 years a slave out there. I mean, they just banned Roots, for the love of Pete. They just banned Roots. I mean, how you out here banning Roots? But you making 50-11 World War II movies. Bro, really? World War II was like
a real story about D-Day.
Man, World War II 80 years ago. Or whatever it was. How many ways can you tell that story from a white soldier point of view? Now they got it to the point to where it's the difference between weather patterns now. I'm like, man, can we stop? Can we stop? Now, don't get me wrong. Most of them are good. For real. I'm not a war movie guy, but most of them are good. I'm not saying that they're bad. Yeah. What I'm saying is some days Hollywood catch me on the right day. And I'm like, I mean, how many ways can you tell your story and ban my story? You know what I'm saying? If y'all going to D-Day today, then the hurricanes is out there going to jack you up, and but then you mad because I want to make 12 years a slave, or you mad because I want to do something that's got black people in it, or Jennifer Garner get mad at Regina King because she can understand through the slave trade where she came from, and the question was dumb. The question that was asked by Chelsea Handler was, "Where are y'all from?" Regina King says Los Angeles, and then Jennifer Garner says, "But where are you really from?" Everybody out here don't like black people. Man, look, Hollywood. and to that point, I love me some Jennifer Garner. Right now, I'm glad Ben Affleck did what he did to her.
Damn, that's cold, bro.
I don't care, man, because what she did was like super duper racist, man. I'm like, we out here doing
she did that shit. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but if she did that shit, yeah, it is. That's
Chelsea Handler, Regina King, and another dude, and Jennifer Garner at a table. Don't nobody really rock with each other. So Chelsea Handler breaks the ice. She's like, "Hey, everybody at the table, tell me where you from." Regina King is a local. She from LA, born and bred, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Jennifer Garner was like, "Where you really from, though?" I'm like, "Didn't I just say LA?" And then she had to break down the Sierra Leone slave trade for her. Then she looked all awkward. And this got caught on film. And I'm like, bruh.
Sometimes you can't, you do too good of a job hiding racism and you forget that you left that shit at home.
Come on, man. This is like,
where are you really from?
Alias, man. This is like Electra, man.
Crenshaw and Left Street. What the fuck? Yo, that's weak.
Look, y'all, and I don't know Jennifer Garner. I don't know who she is as a person. I knew who I thought she was because she makes great films. I think that she's really good at what she does.
Except for
it's just like
trash.
I'm like,
that ain't her fault.
For somebody to come out their mouth like that,
this day and age.
I mean, but see, for real, it's like in a situation like that, doesn't your mind go, "Girl, don't say that. Let LA be the answer. Just let Los Angeles be the answer." But no, in her mind, it was like, "No, she can't be from LA since I'm not from here. So where you really from to make me feel better?"
I mean,
come on, bruh.
Regina King, man. Regina King around 227. Bitch, you know she from America. She ain't got no accent. She ain't got nothing.
We ain't from here. We not allowed to be from here. The only thing that could have made it better would if like Ming-Na Wen was at the table and she's like, "Where you from?" And she got to track it all the way back to China. I'm like, bro, really? Like, you gonna Joy Luck Club this woman for real? Come on, man. Look,
I mean, people sometimes just be forgetting they too comfortable.
Look, all I'm saying is, y'all, if you don't like what's going on, figure it out. Go vote, because they trying to take it all from you, and you're gonna have to answer Jennifer Garner level questions for a long time. So just go vote. Go vote, man. And don't get me wrong, this didn't just happen. This was like 5 years ago, I think.
Doesn't matter.
It just came up again. Like I was like, bro, this had really happened. Yes. And this is among professionals, right? Everybody at the table is somebody. Everybody at the table is somebody.
And Jennifer Garner got kids.
Man, bruh.
Like what?
And see, ain't nobody safe. If you Ben Affleck, you racist too. Just like Ryan Reynolds. You out here getting married at a plantation. You a racist too. Now you cool. Don't get me wrong. But after that, after your movies, I don't want to see you. You look like a rat. I don't want to see you. You're racist. If you went along with your wife wanting to get married at a plantation, that is all I need to know about you. Real talk. I don't need to know no more about you. Now you can say you ate the apple, and as a man, I get that. However, you in these streets, so stop it. And most of your liberal Hollywood is just like those two. Okay, I'm done, but I'm just letting y'all know. You better figure it out. Stop playing with your food. You better figure it out. You better figure it out.
Appreciate you, man. What's on my mind is very simple. I started watching that Kevin Hart roast on Netflix.
I heard so much about that.
First of all, I'm on the Chelsea Handler part, which is nothing but hilarious. I'm gonna say this: a lot of you probably already watched it, and I don't work for Netflix. They're not paying us no money, none of that bullshit. If you are comfortable in yourself, in your beliefs, and stuff, funniest shit ever. If you can laugh at yourself, and you can laugh at the most ignorant bullshit ever, knowing full well at least half of it's bullshit, like, we good. If you are sensitive to anything, do not watch that show. I mean, when I say anything, I'm saying anything, all caps, with an underline under it. Bro, look, man, every time Pete Davidson's on something, man, they talk about his dad who died at 9/11. You know, he was one of the firefighters at 9/11. Bro, they be busting him on that. Like, what? Your dad saved people and you can bust on that? Like, all I'm saying, man, is, yeah, like, you might have seen clips. I mean, Nikki, I don't understand the cat being like Kendrick situation, but I think I do. I have to finish watching. I haven't gotten to that part yet. But all I'm saying is, if you are sensitive to anything racial, like suicide, like death, like anything, Nazis, like any of that shit, don't watch it. If you are sensitive to any of that, just don't. It's not for you. It's absolutely not for you. Now, for me, most of that shit's funny because they come in jest, and I'm just like, I mean, do
they really? You sure about that, sir?
Some of it is. Some of it's shots, but some of it is funny. Like, I mean, like, I'll say the one joke. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Cat Williams. He was talking about Draymond Green, and he said something about his mama and stuff. And it's like something to the effect of, your mom, all she did was add a D in front of Raymond. And I was like, bro, that's funny. Because I had never thought about that shit. Because literally, that's all it is. That shit was funny. I guess she said like his mom might have been drunk or something when she made him a name. And I was just like, bro, he just put a D in front of it. That is, it honestly, for a lot of black jokes, your mama was drunk when she named you, and she just put another letter, like, you know, all the crazy ass names these kids got today. And it was just like, yeah, they just put a D in front of Raymond and named you Draymond. I was like, bro, like I was weak, man. I was weak. And he looked at it and you could tell he was like, oh shit, they got me. And like one other dude was like, well, your mom didn't know who the dad was. So she was like, Derek and Ramon and Draymond. I was like, oh God. Like, bro. So yes, like I think some of it's a jest, but yeah, some people taking shots, like legit shots. So if you are sensitive to any of that, do not watch this. Like, because I would say this might be, and I've watched the majority of the roast. From what I've seen so far, if you did not know that Chelsea Handler had sex with black dudes, you know now.
Oh, I thought that was common knowledge. She's got a black fetish for real.
Well, yeah, but if you didn't know it was common knowledge,
oh, you know now. Oh
my God! Every second joke was about that for her. Like, you know, it's hilarious, man. And it's some of these jokes I've seen from different ones, man. It's still joking the same shit, and it's just like, bruh, like I don't like. Once again, man, if you notice, Pete Davidson got all his tattoos removed, and I guess now he's got a baby and whatever. So they joked on the fact that, hey, now you don't. The only way you know he's an idiot, you gotta actually talk to him because he got all those tattoos removed. I was like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, because he had tattoos on his face and shit. So, like, yeah, I mean, once again, if you are sensitive, like, I love my mother. My mom can't watch this. My mother cannot watch this. She might laugh a little bit, but nah, man, nah. My mom is way too. Yeah, she can't watch this. Straight up, like, no, do not watch this. If you're listening to this, don't watch it. Nope. Because all you're gonna do is be upset. So don't do it. If you're a church going person, like you deep in the Lord, don't watch this show.
I don't think they would anyway.
Man, see, that's how you know who's really deep in the Lord and who ain't. That's all I'm saying on that. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Like I said, they ain't paying me, but once again, I've gone through like 3 comics, and bro, this is the greatest one ever. Tom Brady, even Usher sang some jokes. Bruh. If you didn't know if you didn't know he was 5'1", you know now.
I thought he was 5'3".
Nah, he's 5. Man, fuck if I know he's short.
I thought I was short.
Somebody was like, when you take a picture with Kevin Hart at the end, he's the period. I was weak.
Oh, that's cold.
I was like, yo, I can't. I haven't heard anybody talk about how dark he is yet. I'm pretty sure that shit's coming.
Oh,
so,
absolutely. If it doesn't, I'd be shocked.
I mean, Tom Brady hit on his wife. Hilarious. And you could tell his wife was cringing, man. She cringed a couple times, man, because they would. Once again, if you're a faint of heart, don't watch that show. But if you're not racist or you're not sensitive, that shit's funny as fuck. Cat Williams is funny. I've seen clips. That shit's hilarious. You know, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of clips, which is really the only reason why I'm watching it. I'm pretty sure there's some shit I haven't seen yet. So I'm excited. But with that being said, hey, thank everybody for being with us today. As you know, we do this every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, tell a friend, tell an enemy, just tell somebody about us. We are here once again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, we're here for you. Thank you to AG. Mo B is a place undisclosed right now. Hopefully he'll be back with us next week. Hey, man, next week is Memorial Day. We might be here. We usually work Memorial Day. That way we talk all the shit about the parties and stuff. But we'll see how that goes. Hey, look, appreciate you. 5minutewarner.com. If for some reason you missed the episode or anything like that, check us out on that. Also, JTD Creations. Hey, they do the greatest shirts, sweatshirts, anything, embroidery, they do it. Check them out on their Facebook page, JTD Creations. Hey, once again, thank you for being here. Hey, we'll be back next week. Same bat time, Same bet internet channel? Sure, whatever. But hey, that's how we do. So as always, peace, love, hair grease, sold, and deuces.
Email us at 5minutewarning19@gmail.com. And also leave comments on Facebook and Twitch. Search 5 Minute Warning. Contact us on Twitter at AG_FMW podcast, at Nugman25, at FMW 2019. Contact us on Instagram, Moby 5 Minute Warning, AG_5 Minute Warning, Nugman25. You can listen to the podcast at Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of
The 5 Minute Warning.